there, it's Sarah from Pilates, and I'm now offering live classes. So the recordings are for sale too, and I will show you a recording today of a 60-minute class, which means that you can do it whenever you want. So because not everybody is based in my time zone here in London, and also people's schedules are quite busy. You may just need to do your workout at a different time, which is totally fine. 60 minutes, it sounds long for people that have been doing my shorter classes, but give it a go. 60 minutes flies when you're having fun, and I promise you that we will have fun. It will be a nice warm-up, a great workout, and we're doing good stretching at the end as well. So if you want to join me live, I will put the link in the comment box down below, and you can just join us on Tuesdays at the moment, or you can purchase a recording from my new classes there as well. So enjoy. Any questions, any comments, let me know. I would love to hear from you. Bye. So welcome to your 60-minute class. Here we go. Nice. Big breaths in. Wide into the rib cage as you breathe out, belly button towards the spine. That's it. Getting into your lateral breathing. That's it. One more. Big breath in. Wide into the ribs as you breathe out. Tighten. If you can, you zip up at the same time. Let's warm up our shoulders. So with our shoulders, think about the triangle. So you see your shoulders making the base of the triangle, your head to be the top, and we're going to keep that at all times. So as you take your hands upwards, they stay away from the ears. Nice stretch. Try and touch the ceiling. That's it, and bring it back down. Breathe in, breathe out. Doing well. Breathe in, breathe out. So with shoulders, it's all about stability, keeping the shoulders stable, not pressing from the chest. Just see where you can take it. And if you feel it's tightening up, you can always take your hands a bit wider. That's it. But you don't want to start moving the chest because you sort of get stuck. If you get stuck, you just stay there. That's fine. Open from there. We're going to rotate. So you find your highest point and then you go as far back as you can, Well done. We don't move the chest. We don't move the shoulders. The tops of the shoulders are quite stable. Breathe in, breathe out. Reach for the ceiling and behind. 2 more. That's it. Last one. Well done. And we're going to reverse. So other way. That's it. Go as far back like butterfly stroke. Well done. But we don't hunch. We don't overwork the shoulders. We just work the way they should be working. So with nice open shoulders, not hunching. Last 2. Last one. Well done. From here, take the hands, or rather the elbows next to the rib cage. Breathe in here, breathe out, reach for the ceiling. That's it. So breathe in here, breathe out. Now, if you imagine you had a tennis ball between the shoulder blades, you can feel how you're keeping the tension there when you go up and when you go down. That's it. Last 2. Last one. That's it. Stay here. So elbows at the same height as your shoulders. See if you can take your forearms parallel to the floor and then down. That's it. So keeping your elbows stable, we're just going to pivot. Up. Here we go. Down, up. 2 more. Last one. Stay up, stay here. So here it's a small movement where I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together and back to sort of your neutral positioning here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, but don't press the chest forward. The chest stays where it is. Press and back. Last 4. That's it. Last 3. Last 2. Last one. Taking the elbows together, that's it. Now the key is that they glue together and they stay together. You can interlace the fingers. Then we're going to take the elbows up and chest height. Eye height and chest height. We got this. So breathe in, breathe out. Keeping it nice and steady. Just warming up the fronts of the shoulders, quite nice. Last 4. Last 3. Last two. Last one, last one. Well done. And release from here. And just go to the corners. Got this. Well done. I just realized I forgot to mute you. I'm just going to mute you. Otherwise, it sometimes picks up the sound of somebody else and then puts that on the big screen. I've learned the hard way. That's it. That's it. We got it. That should do the trick. Perfect. And then from here, taking the feet together and let your legs butterfly. So you can actually move your bum a little bit closer towards the heels. You have your hands around the feet. Lengthen the spine first. So rather than being here and sort of focusing on your legs, I want you to lengthen the spine first. Look at that triangle reappear again. And then from here, gently open the legs. You can let them sort of butterfly like that, or you can hold them static. But just opening the inner thighs around the groin area. Lengthen a little bit more, open up. Doing well, doing well. So depending on people's flexibility, some people are quite hypermobile in their hips, or even, it's not a bad thing. And their knees will be almost on the mat or on the mat. It just depends where your flexibilities lay. If you're really high up, then obviously it's a tight muscle group, and we would recommend to stretch regularly there. That's it. We got this. So from here, see if you can cross your legs, have your hands to the front and taking your knees under. And then from here, we're going onto the feet one at a time. We got this. Toes slightly to the outside. And then we're going to bring your elbows on the inside of your knees. That's it. Just side to side opening. Again, around the hips. We got this. Last 4. Last 3, last 2, last 1. Well done. From here, we're going to lengthen, straighten the feet, lengthen the legs, and then press the big toes down and hinge from here. Breathe in. As you breathe out, can you touch the other side of the mat? That's it. If you can't touch the other side, that's okay. Of course, something to aim for. And in my classes, some people have bought their extra wide mats, so then it's really virtually impossible to reach the other side. So just something to aim for. We're going to swap one hand in front, other hand to the back. Keep pressing the big toes, otherwise you tend to be on the outside of the feet, and I want you to engage from the inside of the leg. Back into the middle, going into my favorite stretch when it comes to the legs. We're going to go towards one side, hands around the ankle or above, if you like. We're going to lengthen as if you're sort of having a piece of string attached to the crown of the head, and it's coming forward. And then as you lengthen your abs, come a bit closer towards the thigh. Got this. It always opens up the side of the leg really nicely. There's always some tension hiding there. The more you can relax into it, the more you're opening. Back into the middle, other side. Breathe in. As you breathe out, you lengthen. Try and relax the shoulders. Think about your triangle. Well done. Back into the middle. So from here, I want you to see if you can go a bit further. I like this one where you just use your hands as your anchor. So nothing can happen. You're safe because your hands are always going to get you there, right? So you're stable. And then see if you can let your legs slide a little bit further, to a place where, there may be a little bit discomfort, but we're not going crazy because your muscles are still, they're still a little bit cold. They're not warmed up. At the end of the class, you may be able to go a bit wider, so stay within range, but just a nice stretch. Perfect. And then from here, we're going to just travel, taking the hands towards one leg and then have the hands either side of the leg. Perfect. From here, we're going to see if we can lengthen through the front leg. So breathe in, breathe out, straighten out. Breathe in, breathe out, straighten out. As a bonus, your back leg is going to straighten back, and that's going to have your calf muscle open up a little bit. So you get your hamstring at the front, calf muscle at the back. Last 2. Last 1. Well done. Now, when you're here, try and keep your front leg straight if you can. Now, and if you have it in you, see if you can lift your toes and then hinge a bit deeper. If that's not for you today, then keep them down, absolutely fine. Just to go a little bit deeper in those hamstrings and into the calf muscles. That's it. We're going to travel. That's it. Hands are leading the way, traveling towards the other side. Hand either side of the foot. Relax the hips, straighten out. So when I say straighten out, obviously you work within your flexibility. So if that means your knees slightly bent, that's okay. Last two. Last one. If you can, you stay out. And then if you can, you lift your toes. Ooh, always something hiding in that leg. Calf muscles feeling a bit tight there. Well done. And from here back into the middle. Then taking the feet underneath. That's it. They sort of travel together. That's it. Nice and steady. They have equal weight. You let your head hang. This is a lovely position. So when you hang from the hips, making sure that the knees are not locked. They are slightly bent. And the elbows. Now draw your shoulder blades to the side. So your shoulder blades, your collarbones. So you just lengthen. That's it. Perfect. So you're keeping your triangle even in this position. And sometimes quite nice to sway from the arms, sway from the neck. Shake yes, shake no. We're going to roll up. Now your roll up starts from breathing in. As you breathe out, you feel how the weight transfers from the feet into the calf muscles, into the thighs. And then it's only when your shoulders go past your hip bones that you really feel how you're uncurling the vertebrae. One at a time, they're going to grow, grow, grow. That's it. Shoulders open. That's it. Breathe in at the top. Breathe out. I'll show you my alignment in my hips. Breathe out. We're going to roll down. Slight bend in the knees just to prevent you from pushing back. That's it. Keeping the hips where they are. Just come back. Come back down. Shake yes, shake no. No tension there. Breathe in. Two more. Breathe out. Tighten, zip up. We're growing. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Oh, it's nice to open up and align. Breathe in, breathe out. Last one. Breathe out. Tighten. Zip up. Stay down. We're going to stay here. Well done. Taking the hands, if you have to realign yourself with the mat, please do so you have the mat in front of you. And then have the hands in front, flat on the mat, and you're going to get your knees under the hips. Got this. Starting with your box plank, but we're going to make it dynamic. So we're holding for 4 breaths, and then we're pressing back into your down dog for 4 breaths as well. Taking the toes under, breathe in. As you breathe out, hover. That's it. So we've gone from knees on the floor to knees off the floor, opening the shoulders, and your back is flat. It's like a tabletop position. Breathe in. As you breathe out, tighten. That's it. 2 more. Last one. Well done. And just start pushing the hips high and back, opening around the shoulders. If you have tight shoulders, the key is to take the hands a bit wider so that your chest and your shoulders have room to move back, right? Everybody's built slightly differently. Everybody may have slightly different issues. So listen to your body. Lengthening through the collarbones to the side. It opens up the top really nicely. Okay. Rearrange your hands a little bit narrow again so that we can bring our weight back forward. And see if you can go back straight to hovering. That's it. Breathe in. 4 breaths. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Well done. And press back. Gently push the hips high, open the legs and lengthen from the spine. Let the head just be between the arms so you don't have to press on the neck. The neck just stays in alignment. You're pressing from the upper back or the chest bone. That's where you feel the movement is coming from. Doing well, doing well. Going back into your hovering box for 8 breaths. We got this. You get a break after this. Let's do fantastic 8 breaths with engagement. Breathe in, breathe out. Tighten. 7. Last 6. Last 5. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Well done. Come onto the knees and sit back into child pose and just rotate your wrists. And sit back where your bum is touching your heels if you can. Your forehead is touching the mat. The hands are in front. And as you reach forward, then I want you to drop the shoulders so that you're opening again really nicely in your upper back. Working on our shoulder strength, we're going to take our elbows a little bit narrow and interlacing the fingers. Now press your forearms down because you need that for stability. And then from here, we're going to take our toes under. If it feels strong, don't worry, I can amend that for you. So we're going to see how this feels. If this feels too strong, once you're up here on your elbows, step back a little bit and press back. And you may feel that that just takes a little bit of the pressure off. Opposite is true too. If you feel that you need to work a bit harder, step in. That's it, making the angle a bit sharper. It will be a bit harder on your shoulders. Now, some of you will be absolutely fine and feeling quite strong today. I want you to breathe in front of your hands. If you can, breathe out, press back. Optional. The movement is absolutely optional. Breathe in, breathe out. 4 to go. Breathe in, breathe out. Last 3. Last 2, last 2. Last 1. Well done, and come onto the knees. Sit back into child pose. This time, open your knees a little bit and sit back. So if sitting back on your heels is a problem, some people prefer to be a little bit upright. That's absolutely fine. Well done. I'm going to ask one more thing from your shoulders before we work in reverse. We're going to come into our plank and we're going to do a variation. Again, the variation is optional. If you prefer to keep a static plank, that's absolutely fine. So we're going to have the hands to the front of the mat. You step back into your full plank. If this at any point is too hard, you can always be on your knees, you know that. But this is option 1. You hold, right? Breathe in, as you breathe out, you tighten. If this is feeling fine for you, what we're going to try and do is get your knee towards your opposite elbow and back. So breathe out and move. That's it. Optional, right? So no pressure. But if you need a challenge, I'm giving you one. That's it. 6 to go. Last 5. Last 4, last 3, last 2, last 1, last 1. Well done, and come and sit down. Quick release from here and come into seated. So have your legs slightly bent and on the mat so that we can work in reverse. Now, when your legs are in front, always remember that we want them to be set in stone. So just imagine you had a glass of water on each patella, on each kneecap, and it would stay there no matter what we're doing with our upper bodies, right? So nice and stable. If you feel this is an issue for you, you can have a cushion in between that you slightly grip, and sometimes that helps people to remind them that their knees have to be stable. Starting with a straight spine, breathe in. As you breathe out, take your tailbone under. Relax the shoulders, relax the head, and find your lowest point. Breathe in at your lowest point, and as you breathe out, you roll back over, keeping the curve, back over the sitting bones, and nice stretch to the top. Hands back to the front, breathe in as you breathe out. Tailbone under. Breathe in at your lowest point, and as you breathe out, tighten, zip up, move back over. Hands overhead. Breathe in, breathe out. Doing well, doing well. Back over, straighten out, hands overhead. Last two. Keep those legs under control, right? And go with the flow. You're creating the flow with your breath. So breathe in. As you breathe out, you tighten, you roll down. You breathe in at your lowest point. And as you breathe out, you roll back over the hip bones. That's it. Now find your lowest point for you, right? So when I say your lowest point, I need control. So wherever that is. So I'm going to go here. This feels like a place I could work, but I can feel that my core is working, right? Hands are over the kneecaps. We're going to open up. So keep your upper body where it is, but breathe out. We're going to take the hands to the side, Breathe out as if there's an elastic band and you're stretching it. And then you're bringing it back over the knees. Breathe in. As you breathe out, stretch the elastic band. Hold your core. Bring it back over. Breathe in, breathe out. Tighten. Got it. Well done. Breathe in, breathe out. Well done, well done. We got this. 4 more. Well done, well done. Last 3. I know, it's always the hardest when your hands are away from midline. It's always the case. Last one. Well done, well done. Roll yourself back up. So with control, come back up and cross your legs if possible and move forward. If crossing your legs is a problem, try and do it at least with one leg. So maybe you have one leg out, one leg over, and you don't have to come all the way down. You could stay upright. The reason why I don't like people avoiding cross-legged position completely is because if you start avoiding movements, then there's definitely going to be stiffness, right? It will never improve. So we try not to avoid certain muscle groups. Instead, we may take it easier on those muscle groups. That's okay. And then when you're ready, we're going to find a way down to the floor with control, of course. Find yourself down to the floor. Well done. And once you're here, palms facing up, you can just put your body in holiday mode. It's my favorite bit. That's before you start work, that is. So as you exhale, the shoulders drop down. That's it. The ribs come down. And then lengthen the neck by just tucking the chin in slightly. Breathe in, we're starting to work. Like an accordion, your belly button is going to come a little bit closer towards the spine. Zip up the pelvic floor if you can at the same time. Right knee over the right hip bone. Wide breath in. As you breathe out, tighten. Zip up with the control. Second knee comes up. Now, as your knees have come up, you just have to do a body check. You always have to go into the body and check what is happening. So are your shoulders still down? Is your neck still relaxed? And what are your ribs doing? So my ribs tend to go up a little bit high, and then as I exhale, I need to reposition them. That's just something that happens in my body. In your body, it may be slightly something different. Your lower back has to stay in neutral. If you're feeling strong, take those knees a little bit further, and let's just concentrate on the core connection. Breathe in wide. As you breathe out, tighten. Belly button towards the spine, zip up. 6 to go. That's it. Last 5. Last 4. Last 3. 2 to go. Last 1. And hug your knees. Well done. Go side to side. Open up the lower back. Draw a little circle. Doing really well. So as we're haven't done too much core strength yet, let's do our corkscrew. So if you do it early on in the class, we're going to have great technique, right? So we're not fatigued just yet. Let's see what we can do. And I want you to focus this time round. I want you to focus on going slower than you normally do. So whatever your pace is normally, so consciously go slower. and see what happens, see how that feels. So taking the hands, palms facing up, shoulders down, breathe in. As you breathe out, the right knee over the right hip bone. Breathe in once more. As you breathe out, tighten, zip up, second knee comes up. Join the legs together, and then we're straightening out as much as you can. Well done. Like a pencil, right? We're going to draw a circle to the side, little bum lift. Breathe out, breathe in, take it around and away. Now, the moment that you start thinking slower, that's the moment it gets harder. Do you notice that, even if you normally go slow, you will get used to your own pace. So then to sort of shock the system a little bit, go a little bit slower and see how that feels. Opposite shoulder stays down. So the control in the shoulders is important, because as your legs go to the side, your obliques are kicking in. But if you don't control that very well, the shoulder will come away. Doing well, doing well. We got 2 more this way before we change direction. Always hard when there's no momentum, just control. When you're ready, we're going to change direction. So wherever you want in the circle, you're going to change. That's it. So maybe at the top or the bottom, wherever you prefer, we start moving the other way. Doing well, doing well. That's it. And I notice it as well. So I'm used to definitely to have a certain rhythm, and this is slower than my rhythm. So I'm feeling the challenge for sure, which is good. That's what we want. Hold your core at your lowest point. Bring it up with control. 3 more. When your hips come up, try and control the hip drop. Last 2. Lengthen. Last one coming up. How slow can you go? That's it. Slow, slow, slow. Tighten, tighten, tighten. Bum lift. Oh, and release. Well done. Side to side. Opening the lower back. Release. Doing well. Well done. Well done. So from here, we're going to do a rolling like a ball and play around a little bit with stability and a bit of core work. There's always levels. So if you feel that you know certain things are too hard, there's always a variation you can do. So from here, hands around the knee, come into seated. That's it. If you feel, sometimes when you do certain exercises, you feel tightness. So for instance, I feel my hip flexors are a little bit tighter, so I'm just opening them up before I go into the next exercise. But same for you, if you feel your glutes or whatever, you can always kind of stretch out and join us. So from here, you want to have your hands around the shins. Now, when you're here in your rolling like a ball position, so there's a difference between what I'm doing here, which is kind of holding and then leaning back, and there's no tension. This is kind of more stretching my back. What I want you to do is having your hands on the shins, lengthening through the crown, and actually holding the position from here, from around your shoulder blades, as if somebody's prepping you up there, and then hold your core for stability. We got this. Your legs are stable. My hands are not there to keep them in place. They're actually trying to escape, and your hands are there to sort of to hold them back, maybe to sort of activate your arms at the same time. Rolling like a ball is more like tipping like an egg. We're going to roll from the hips. Tailbone goes under. That's it. With control, you come back up. Find your positioning. Hold your core. Roll back from the tailbone, not from the shoulders. Try not to go onto the neck. Just between the shoulders is fine. Doing well. That's it. Doing good, doing good. Nice and control. That's it. So for some people, this is a tricky exercise because they may have a flat spine or a very hyperextended spine. So if that's the case, sometimes those people need a bit more help from their hands, like I just did there. So that's an option if you really need it. Otherwise, you can actually just use the curve of the spine and your core strength. On the next one, we're going to stay up. So roll back. We're going to hover, 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 and taking the hands behind the thighs if you can. See if you can keep this position. You can then take the shins parallel, always harder on the quads. Perfect. Now, we're going to do a leg extension one at a time. So see if you can lengthen one leg, bring it back in. You're still holding on, so you've got support. Doing well, doing well. One at a time. Hold your core. Well done, 4 to go. If you feel that you don't need that much support, you can have 2 fingers rather than the whole hand, or maybe you don't need any at all. Doing well. So see what works for you. You can hold on if you have to. There's no pressure. 2 more. Last one, last one. Now, how do you feel about extending both at the same time? You can have your hands around if you need to. Extend and hold. You can be here or here. Hold. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Cross your legs and move forward and down. Well done. Opening the hips. Maybe you want to move side to side to just loosen up those hips. Well done, well done. And from here you can find the floor again. So with control, find the floor and have the hands next to the hips. Again, maybe you feel like you have to release the legs so you can wiggle them around. But as you exhale, let's put those shoulders and ribs back on holiday so that they're down and relaxed. Well done. So breathe in. As you breathe out, you tighten and start to work again. Belly button towards the spine. Zip up the pelvic floor. Right knee over the right hip bone. Right breath in. As you breathe out, tighten. Second knee comes up. Well done. Take those knees a little bit further. Relaxing the shoulders. We got this. Perfect. So from here, we're going to extend one leg at a time. See if you can join the second leg as the first leg is extended. So you extend, you park it. You extend, you keep them together. One comes in, the other comes in. Now, if you're feeling strong today, you can take those feet a little bit further away. So maybe more diagonal. That's it. You could go even lower than what I'm doing. It just depends from person to person. I just want you to feel the challenge. That's it. And you want to be able to control it. Walk, extend, bring it in, bring it in. Well done. Breathe out. Breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe in. Breathe in, breathe in. Okay, we got 4 to go. 4. Well done, extend. Bring it in. Bring it in. Last 3. 3. In. In. Last 2. Last one. Last one. And bring it in. And bring it in. Well done. And hug your knees. Hug your lower back into the floor. Go side to side. Well done. Okay, so before we go on to our side, I want to do one more on our back. If your hip flexors are playing up, don't forget you can always stretch in between. You do what you need to do to release those muscles, and then you join us again when you're ready. So we're going to do our frog extensions. We're going to try and keep the legs in the extension with the heels together like this. So heels will be together, toes apart, like you make a V shape. That will fire up your inner thighs, your adductors. You will feel the difference. So something to aim for. So breathe in. As you breathe out, right knee over the right hip bone. Breathe in once more. Second knee comes up, right? Now we start with bringing the ankles together and bringing the heels, ankles together but knees open, right? So you kind of make a diamond shape. And then we're going to take those knees in as close to the body as you can without changing the lower back position. And as you exhale, I want you to press the heels together into that V shape. Toes apart, heels together. As you breathe in, the toes can come together a little bit. Knees come in as far as they can. As you breathe out, heels come together, the toes out. Inner thighs working hard. Doing well. Exaggerate your extension. That's it. Doing well. You always imagine that you're going beyond straight. So it always feels like you're firing, as if your superpower was to you know, to run fire through your legs, through your feet. As you do that, you feel the power running through beyond the feet, but you never lock the knees, right? So we're not hyperextending or locking the knees. We're just looking to lengthen and straighten. Last 4. Breathe in, breathe out. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Well done. We got this. Well done. And hug your knees. Well done. Side to side. And when you're stretching and relaxing, your whole body can be heavy into the floor. We're not really looking for alignment when we're stretching. We're looking for alignment when we're working. So there's a time for everything. Well done. Before we're coming onto the side, we're going into our side plank, right? So defying gravity, basically. So hands around the knee, come up. And you can double fold your mat if you need to for some extra padding. We're coming onto the hips. We're going to do our hip dips. You can do hip dips halfway up or full. Either way, it's fine by me. I'll do both. So I'll start half, and then for those who want to, I'll take it up all the way. Now what you want to do is align your hips properly and start lifting the waist. So when you're here, see the difference between kind of slouching and lifting, active arm. Breathe in, breathe out. Come onto the fleshy bit of your knees and press the hips forward. Got it. So hip dips means that on the in-breath, we're going to imagine your mat is a hot plate. You touch and you straight back up. So you kind of like brush the floor straight back up. If this is feeling too easy for you, of course you can do the full version. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, lift. Breathe in, breathe out. 4 to go, 4 to go. Breathe in, breathe out. So even if you're on your knees, this is absolutely fine. Same thing, hips dip, straight back up. Last one, breathe in, breathe out, reach to the top. Gently come onto the knees and come into seated. So bring your knees in and then lift yourself up from here. The hand that was at the top is the hand that's going near the feet, and then you reach over into your mermaid stretch, really elongating your waist as you reach over. And then sometimes I quite like to go a bit deeper into this stretch, and I take the hand that's on the floor and I take it to my opposite knee, and I use it to rotate my torso that way. That's it. And then I go back into the stretch and feel the difference. Feels like you've kind of found another knot. That's it. A knot of tension that you can just ease into. And then from here, you find the floor and you lengthen down. Perfect. So we're going to get the feet slightly in front of you. Open this top shoulder. So this is the only thing that I sometimes see happening in class is the shoulders curl forward. It's very cozy, but that's not what we're doing. Opening up, align, that's it. Hip bones are aligned, which means that your hand should fit underneath your waist, right? This is the hardest teaching point on your side. I find that as people get more advanced, this does happen, this does appear. So just start, if you have the head space, when you're doing the exercises, just check yourself once in a while if that is still there. Top leg is going to make a circle. Let's start to the front, up to the ceiling, and bring it round and down. Now your circle is equal to the front and to the back. And this is the thing that the camera never shows that well, I think, is that you can't really see that my circle is quite symmetrical. What I do to the front, I do to the back. And I want you to do the same. Don't just work towards your strength. That's it. So you can check yourself underneath your waist. As you go up, your waist shouldn't fall into your hand. So keep it nice and sort of aligned, basically. And the alignment will come from the lengthening of the torso. We're going to change direction. Breathe out. Breathe in. Doing well, doing well. Breathe in. Doing good, doing good. We got 2 more. Last one. Doing well, doing well. Now keeping the legs together, float them a little bit higher. If you need stability, don't forget you can always use your spider fingers in front of the chest. We're going to go opposite ways with the legs. That's it. And then bring them back together. Breathe in, breathe out, opposite ways. Now, if you keep your rhythm quite smooth, the legs will balance each other out because as one travels to the front, the other one travels at the back at the same time. Doing well, doing well. Doing well. If you feel this in your hip bone, this is just because your padding is not sufficient. So that's why I've got 2 mats. I don't like to feel the floor at all. Last 2. Last one. Well done. Bring the legs together. And now the bottom leg, the toes are going to come down and the heel is lifted. It just means that actually my touching point is my thigh and not the whole leg, right? So from here, I want you to lengthen the top leg. We're going to do a nice, I want to say kick forward, but then that sounds like there's a lot of momentum and there's not. With control, I want you to see how far you can take that leg forward. That's it, in line with the camera. And back. Now go beyond the other foot. So you're hyperextending to the back there. That's it. And then bring it back to the front. That's it. That's it. I'm trying to get in line with my hips. But you may find that it just depends. Some people find that is a little bit too much for their flexibility. So you may stop here. That's okay as well. Find what works for you. But I want you to feel the glutes really active as you come forward. Doing well. Nice and long. Now my upper body is not swaying, and the way that you can see that is that my elbow and my hip are not moving. So that's very little movement, and I hope you're feeling the same, that there's actually quite a lot of stability. Especially when your leg comes forward, hold your core. You can absorb it. Last one. Well done, well done. From here, float both legs. We're going up and down. We got this. Just going into those side glutes. Breathe out, breathe in. Doing good, doing good. Breathe out, tighten. Breathe in, come down. Breathe out, tighten. That's it. We got this. We got this. Last 5. 5. Last 4. 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last one. Last one. Well done. Now glue the legs together. Last exercise, I promise. We're going to see if we can do our double leg lift, but for those who can, we're going to move up at the same time. So double leg lift is like a mermaid tail where we glue the legs together and they move as one whilst you're on the hip bone. Right? So the movement can't go very high because unless you're going to fall on your bum cheek and kick your legs up, the height is going to be restricted by the fact that you are laying on your hip bone. So I'm not looking for a massive lift there, right? If you feel that you've got a lot of stability at the same time, see if you can reach up, touch the side of your knee and come down. My hand is on the floor for stability, right? So I'm sliding my hand in, touch, and I come back. That's it. Breathe in, breathe out. Touch the side of the knee and back. Doing it. Last 4. We're almost there. Slide up. So if the slide doesn't happen, you can just focus on your double leg lift. Bring it back down. Last 3. Last 2, last 2. Last 1. Well done. And release. And as you're releasing, look how your waist is now down. Like that gap is gone because you're relaxing, you're not aligning. You're just heavy into the floor. And take your top leg forward. So we're trying to release your side glutes. Release your hips. Just a few breaths here. And it's always nice to do a body scan to sort of just be aware where you're feeling it. As all of you've done quite a bit of Pilates, you kind of get to know your muscle groups a bit. You know what's, where you're feeling it. And it's always nice to do a body scan to sort of just be aware where you're feeling it. As all of you've done quite a bit of Pilates, you kind of get to know your muscle groups a bit. You know what's, where you're feeling it. You know that if it's the side of the legs, it's your glutes humming here, which is a good sign. And then take your hands forwards. That's it. Shoulder away from your ears. Think about the triangle still going here. And then both hands come together. Breathe in. Reach over. As you breathe out, you look away and open up. So when you're here, I keep my knee down. This becomes my anchoring point. And I don't actually mind that my hand is floating. I'm not really focusing on getting my hand down to the floor. I'm just more focusing on lengthening and using the breath to open up. Spinal twists are lovely. 360-degree stretch on your spine. And this is the one stretch we definitely have to keep doing until old age to keep our spine young and mobile and long, because the spine tends to compress as we age. And we want to keep the space between the vertebrae because that's where the mobility is, right? And then breathe in, reach, and as you breathe out, both hands join back together. Well done. To make your spine feel normal, come onto your back and just go side to side. Hug your knees, just double checking for time so that I don't keep you like forever. Ooh, that's it. Because sometimes I'm having too much fun and I could keep you here for an hour and a half, which I'm sure you wouldn't appreciate. Or maybe you do. That's it. So we're going to find the other hip bone. So take your hand around the knee, breathe in. As you breathe out, with bringing it around to the other side. Starting with your side plank. Do you remember? You can go halfway or full. We're doing hip dips. Double fold if you want to. That's it. Align yourself. And when you're here, the biggest thing you can do for yourself is actually starting to lift already. So your obliques are now supporting this position, not just your shoulders. Breathe in, breathe out, lift. Bringing the top, both hips towards the front. And on the in-breath, you brush the floor straight back up. That's it. Brush the floor straight back up. If this feels too easy, of course, come into your full plank. Always work at a level that's right for you. Breathe in. 4 to go. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Well done. And gently come onto the knees. Bring it in and take your hands around to the other side. Breathe and reach. Reach over. That's it. I always like to sort of match the top hand over the bottom hand. That gives you a nice stretch. And then here, to make it a little bit deeper, I take my hand that's on the floor to the opposite knee. I twist back a little bit. And then with that twist, I go back into the stretch, really working that waist. And then from here, I slide myself down. Find yourself on the floor. Feet slightly in front. We got this. Lengthen through. That's it. And then float both legs. Starting with your circle. Let me see if I can get my legs in the camera. That's it. So from here, we're going to circle away. So breathe out to the top. Breathe in. Think about the symmetry that I mentioned. So you're trying to slide beyond your foot to the front. But don't forget that we want to go beyond your leg to the back as well. Keep lengthening. Think about your superpower of shooting fire through the toes. That's it. All the power running through the leg towards the toes. Doing well, doing well. One more in this direction before we change. Change direction, other way. So breathe out to the top. Breathe in, bring it forward. Breathe out. Good control. Shall we do the check? Take your hand underneath your waist. What's happening there? That's it. So is the gap still there? Good. As your leg goes up, don't crush it. You know, keep your waist nice and light. Last one after this one. Last one. Well done. Feet in line. We're going to extend away from each other. One leg forward, one leg back. Keep your waist light so that you have your sort of pivot, your anchoring point is your hip bone. extend away. I've got some furniture to contend with. I have to go past the sofa. That's it. It's possible I just flex my foot. We got this. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Doing well, doing well. Last 1. Well done. Bottom leg, making it an anchoring point by bringing the toes down and lifting the heel. So you're now in touch with the mat with your thigh. Top leg, just bring it a bit more parallel. Move it back, and then with control, we're going to move it forward. See if you can get it as much in line with the hip as you can, and move it back. Upper body nice and stable. Breathe out, tighten, control, so that when the leg kicks forward, your upper body absorbs it from the core. Doing well, doing well. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last 4. Last 3. So I'm contracting as my legs goes forward. My abs are going in. 2 to go. Last 1. Well done. Join the legs together. Top leg goes up and down, just into your side glutes. Up and down. You got this. Your hand can be here if you need to. Breathe out to the top. Breathe in, bring it down. That's it. Your leg versus gravity. We're so going to win this. That's it. Up. Bring it down. Breathe out. Breathe in. Give me 5 more. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1, last 1. Well done. Glue the legs together like a mermaid's tail. The leg is going, well, the legs are now one and they're moving up together. Breathe out. Lift. Bring it back. So the movement doesn't have to be big. We're not falling onto the bumps cheeks. We're staying onto the hip bone, right? If this is all feeling very stable for you, you may be able to slide up to the side and back. Breathe out. Breathe in. That's it. We got this. We got this. 5 to go. 5. Last 4. 4. Last 3. 2 to go. Last 1. Last 1. Make it a good one. Stay at the top and release down. Well done. And take your leg forward. Exhale and just bring yourself into a really relaxed position, into the floor. And again, you can just kind of body scan where you feel this. And then take your hand forward. Bring the head down, shoulder away from the ears, both hands together. Breathe in. Don't move your knee. Your knee is your anchoring point. And then just see what happens as you open up. And wherever you end up is fine. And then just use your breath to open up a bit more. Doing well. Breathing, opening, stretching. Last breath, we got this. Breathe in wide, and as you breathe out, open up and join the arms back together. Doing good. And hug your knees. So come onto your back, draw your circle, and as you draw your circle, find the bony bits of the back of the hips, right? So you've got your lower back. This is where a little bit of anatomy comes in handy, so you kind of know what you're doing. So you can feel your coccyx, and just above your coccyx you've got some vertebrae called sacrum. That feels quite nice if you roll over that. But then if you go into the back of the hips, the iliac crest, there's also a few muscle attachments. So it's just nice to roll over that, release all of the tension. And then from here, hands around the knee. Let's go into our pigeon pose. So come onto hands and knees and slide your knee forward. And then edge back. Well done. So from here, I want you to take your shin out. So taking your shin forward, trying to keep it in place by maybe pressing your hands on it or just flexing it so that it doesn't shoot straight away back underneath. And then from here, we're coming down. Breathe in, breathe out. As you exhale, you can find your way down to the mat. It may be quite tight for you today and you may prefer to stay on your elbows. Either is fine. Just kind of find the tension, find it, and then breathe into it and sort of hang into it. Doing well. Doing good. We love a pigeon pose. Nobody can object when I've put you all on mute, so that's good, isn't it? We all love a pigeon pose. That's it. And then from here, gently come out of it. And slide that knee back. And then breathe in as you breathe out. The other knee comes forward. You edge back because you're trying to keep your hips low, you see. If you're quite high up, you don't feel the stretch as much. That's why we're edging back with that back leg. Sit on your bum cheek and then take your shin out. Back into the middle. You've created a weird angle on the knee and then you come down. And then you need to sort of relax, even if it feels tight. And that's the contradiction, I think, with stretching is that you think, oh, it feels tight and your body wants to stay away from it. But then you need to override it by breathing out, letting your body relax into that stretch. And that's going to make it a little bit more painful, but also more effective. And then as the weeks go on, it becomes easier and easier for that muscle and less intense. Doing well, doing well. And then gently, hands under, bring it down. Perfect. Now take your toes under and sit back. So keeping the soles nice and stretched there. Sit back on the heels. Really good stretch for runners. Also, you may find if this is really painful that you have to do it more regularly because you don't want to get any issues with your tendons underneath the feet. Those are not easy injuries to recover from. That's prevention, always better than cure, hey? And then from here, unfold. That's it, and come into seated. So well done. Congratulations on finishing the 60-minute class. And yeah, I hope to definitely see you next week. And I'll unmute you now. That's it.